Hi everybody, welcome to another video here on Tuesday. There's of course a bit of a disagreement within the community in certain areas. It's not like, I think it's more like a small number of people are frustrated about the forced crystals being open. I mean, since the video was, I did my video on it, and of course in that video we covered the fact that there was people that were holding out on a load of crystals. Would have been very helpful for things like the Crystal Cleanse realm event, and of course Brian wouldn't have had to sacrifice his eggs. And then after that, well, we miss you, Brian. I think a lot of us would love you back, but he's doing other things. Hopefully he does come back at a later date. It just would be nice, you know. But we had recently, and I'm trying to see where the end-game message is. There we go. Old crystals opening soon. This was when Kabam announced it. I think when I did my coverage, I recorded it on like a Thursday or something, and then put it out on the Saturday. So a bit of a time kind of difference there. But this is and has been frustrating for some, okay for others, and for most people they're just like, yeah, and I'm in the fall in the category of yeah, and like just get them open. The whole reason that Kabam were doing this, as I said, it's all to do with improving server performance. I do sympathise with a lot of people that are going to have a lot of items to sort out in their stash, but I would welcome everybody to sort out their stash more regularly. I know what's going on a lot of times with my stash, like at the moment. Without looking, I'm going to tell you that I have a lot of energy refills, which I'm planning to put into 9.2. I've got some revives and health potions, which are probably going to be used in 9.2, maybe not. I am about 6 over, I think, with my tier 4 alpha, but I have 2 rank ups that I'm planning, but I need the tier 7 basics and whatnot. I'm also holding on to some energy refills from my objectives because I am not going to overspend, so I can keep them in my stash for a longer length of time before actually opening them. Let's see if that's all correct. Number 1, yep, apart from the gold track, that's just new, that's actually fresh today as I'm recording this. Yep, that's correct with the tier 4 alpha. The items wise, yep, exactly what I said right there. So I've got a plan with what I'm doing with the stuff, apart from members and alloys and stuff like that, but I don't really care too much for relics and the ISO. Well, I'll level up and rank up whenever I want. It's up to me. So yeah, you've got to know your stash. And for those that are just now wondering, oh, I'm going to have a load of stuff to manage in my stash, well, just manage your stash better. Like, understand what you're doing with your account. However, there is a little bit of a point which is actually in favour of those people that are complaining about the extensive stash management they're going to have to do after having all of their crystals force opened. What? Where can they be right, Rich? Well, there was a really decent thread that was opened up about this. What's this? Your inventory from a items point of view, right? Items are a bit of a big issue, as my screen's black for some reason. Why has that happened? There we go, fixed it now. I tell you what, tech issues today. I've just had to put my new PC that's going to be replacing this one into the shop for repair, which wasn't great, but that's something I'm glad I found out now, and had to abandon my kind of setup to a new setup and arrangement. So honestly, sometimes you think you got it locked down with stuff and it's like, oh, crazy after that. So there are items like this that still remain within your I mean, go and check it now. Check out your inventory and you'll notice stuff like this. Whether or not you got some of the reunion tokens, infernal summons, beta ray 1 up, Cestertius, sounds like an STD, thingamajobs. Yeah, so there's a lot of things that are in your inventory, whether you're going to use them or not use them. That is something I think that's important to go, well, if Kabam is saying that out-of-date crystals are going to be cleaned up because it's causing server performance-based stuff, why aren't we also having the same treatment for inventory? Granted, Kabam might say, well, that doesn't take up quite so much data in terms of the issue. Crystals do. That may be the case. That may not be. But it would be nice to at least sell some of the things that are kind of clogging up our inventory. I mean, last time I checked, the vote was over for Mr. Knight. And he won. You know, he won. And I've got a load of votes for him still. Yeah, okay, there could be something like, oh, the Battle Realm. Well, actually, no, Battle Realm brought entry. I don't need it. Like, we've entered. We did it last year. or the year before. I cannot remember. I've also got additional accolades cards. Now, these accolades cards were things that, like, not last year, but the year before, you could actually leapfrog and get more of your, what was it? More further up with your free banquet crystals as a result of having them in your inventory, but they're not there anymore. I've still got Summoner Sigil tokens, Sigil credits right there, but I can't actually use them. So the Sigil credits, because I don't have and I haven't had for years, like 4 years? Yeah, 4 years. I've not had a Summoner Sigil subscription, and I don't think as a result I cannot access. No, I can't access with that and buy. Not that I want to buy that, but that's kind of like a good example. Like I can't get anything with having them in there, but I don't spend. I haven't spent in nearly 4 years, or about 4 years. Either way, it would be nice to like deal with some of these, and surely they're clogging up some. I mean, there's a buff randomizer in there, for God's sake. I was actually just going to start a new series, a short series, so exclusive, like vertical, on the channel, which is like 5 things and where they came from, 5 things from your inventory, and this is where they came from, which I think's the first video of that is out, the first shorts is out that this week. It might even be out. It might be out. I can't remember what I scheduled in. But this stuff is like, you know, part and parcel of some of the stuff you might want to organize. Even from like an from a champion items perspective, I'm sure some people want to organize stuff. Now I've got on my holiday list, when I go away on holiday over the next couple of days, to organize my signature stones. And it definitely would be a nice kind of cool to be able to do that. I know from reading some of the various responses on stuff, you know, people are interested. They're interested in something like this, being able to sell them, removing them. Some people may see them as more like trophies or tokens of the past of MCOC. I guess that's the case. I guess that's still a relevancy, but it's also like, well, that's what a lot of people that opened up those crystals, having those crystals forced open for them, treat those crystals as like tokens, trinkets and stuff like that. This is what I hope for Relics. I wanted Relics to be very much like a trinkets type thing, but it never was. Like the feather of Howard the Duck. What was it? Prince's guitar? You could even say like part of a predator like gun, like, because I think it's canon, isn't it? In some comic book there was like Alien and Predator are canon to some events. I don't think you'll see them in MCU, but what I'm, you know, getting to the point of like, you could see anything as like a trinket, a doodad, a thingamajob, so to speak, with it. Yeah, it just would be nice to like have an opportunity to kind of sell the things that are just a bit kind of like. I mean, look, there's Cat Murdoch saying, I like the old memorabilia. I love a trip down memory lane. I do agree with that, but at the same time, it's why the people that are having their crystals forced opened for them are annoyed because they're being forced open. I'm all about saving space. I agree, it would be nice to have like a trinket section, but maybe Kabam could do that in the future, is having something like an area of like trinkets of the battle realm, and maybe like little kind of collector's things of the past that you could collect, because people did that with crystals. That's why Brian did his collecting. Like, there's just too much of like there's too many opinions around what is hoarding and what is collecting, and how Kabam treat that. Because Kabam would say like, oh, well, you can't hoard those crystals because they're going to be like too much on our data for our servers. Oh yeah, well, what about like stuff in items? Well, you can keep them. Why? Isn't it like the same principle? No, it's slightly different. Okay. But what if we then had a trinket-based section where we had things that were basically the history of MCOC? Ooh, that's kind of a little bit of A and a little bit of B. So we're going to keep A but keep B, but it's kind of the same. It's a bit of a weird type of precedence to set. If you go into other games like Marvel Rivals, I don't know if anybody's played Marvel Rivals, but there's something within there where you're able to collect things that are like trinkets. They are like trinkets of the of the history of Marvel Rivals, and Also like other items in it as well. So yeah, we're in a difficult situation with it. I still think that we should be able to clear everything. I'm a big believer of minimalistic. I hate when there's too many things. And we are coming to a point where, this is why I hope that Kabam sort out Radiance, because this currency malarkey is just it's getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand, really. We've got trophy tokens, we've got loyalty, we've got battle chips, we've got glory, we've got mysterium, we've got incursion artifacts. Elder marks are a bit different and not exactly. That's a different situation. We've also got the tickets, the Alliance Raids tickets. Like, it's just getting a bit much now. And I think that it's time for Kabam to look at this to make less clutter. But the same thing, what do they do with crystals? What do they do with trinkets? What do they do with items? What do they do with these things? How should they rectify it? Put your thoughts in the comments. That's it for the video. Check out some other stuff located on screen, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.